Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 11, Force and Pressure. Before going into the chapter, let us move into the introduction part. First of all, let's recall some activities such as picking, opening, shutting, kicking, hitting, lifting, flicking, pushing, pulling. These are the terms, or you can say these are the verbs or the action verbs, that actions we are doing to describe certain task that we do in our day-to-day life. Each of these actions usually results in some kind of change in the motion of the object. That means if you are uh, picking a ball, that means you are stopping the motion of the ball. If you are hitting the ball with a hockey stick, that means the ball, again it will come into motion. If you are stopping a ball, that means a moving ball, when it is moving, it will be stopped at one place. So that means there will be change in the motion. So now let us come to the topic force. Force is actually a push or a pull of an object is called force. Can you see over here? This man is pushing. Okay, when he pushed the car, the object moved away from the applier. That means when he pushed the car moved forward from the man who pushed it. But in the second diagram, pull means bringing closer to the body or bringing closer to the man. That means in this case the object is moving towards the applier of this force. So this is called as force. Whenever there is a push or a pull, that is called as force. So here are some of the things that occurs due to force. Force is a push or a pull and changes the state of rest or of a uniform motion. Okay. Second one is force is any action that has tendency to change the position, shape or size of the object. What does it mean? So that means whenever the force is applied, shape can be changed, size can be changed and position can be changed. For example, if there is a ball, if you will hit it, it will move to another place. If there is a balloon, if you will squeeze it, it will be shrinked and it will become small in size. So there will be change in the shape as well as in the size. Interaction of one object with other object results in a force between the two objects. For example, one ball was here and you threw one ball and when it went and hit this ball, what happens? Along with the movement of this ball will also roll down and it will move. So that means due to the force, both the objects come into a motion. The effect of force depends on the magnitude and direction of the force. Next one is force applied in the same direction adds to the another. For example, if one boy is standing, okay, or walking, okay, if he is walking, that means he is in motion. But one boy, when he is coming in running position and when he hits this boy, the speed of this boy will increase and it will move in faster rate. Next one is force applied in the opposite direction. The not force is given by the difference of the two forces. Like if the force is in opposite direction, it can be more or less depending upon how much force is applied. Force can move a body initially at rest. For example, this is a ball kept at one place. If some person kick it, so what happens? When the ball is kept at one place, that is called as rest. Rest means it is at one position, not in a motion. But when someone comes and hit this ball, what happens? This ball will slightly move forward. So it will come into motion. So force, what it can do? It can make a body to come in rest as well as it can make a body to move. Okay. So this portion also we have studied. The force can change the direction of the moving body. If the ball is coming this side, okay, and if some person will kick from here, this ball will move in another direction. So it means The force can change the speed of the moving body. In the same way, as I previously told you, change the shape of the body means if there is a balloon, if you will squeeze it, shape will be changed. And as well as size of the body, if you will squeeze it, then it will be converted into smaller in size. Okay. Then what are the types of forces? Number one is muscular force. Okay. The muscular forces are those which involves the actions of muscles. That means to carry out any kinds of action, muscles are used. For example, here the bullocks are there. Okay, bullock cart and bullocks are there. What happens? This bull or a cow, they will drag these wheels, and their body muscles are being used to move this cart. That is why they are called as muscular force, because these cows are using their muscles to pull the wheels. Animal make use of the muscular force to carry out the physical activities in other task. Next one is friction. First of all, what you have to do, friction means if you are pulling or pushing, what I told you, pulling means pulling towards you, pushing means pushing away from you. Okay, whenever there is pulling or pushing or force is there, there is automatic force that is present, that is called as the frictional force, which tries to stop the force. So can you see here, when this boy is trying to drag this box, okay, he is applying force on this, frictional force will come in opposite direction. Frictional force always occurs in opposite direction. Why does a ball, when it is in moving, when someone hit it and when it is moving, after some time what happens, it comes and stops at one place. Why does it stop? Because of the friction. Friction has the ability to stop the motion. Okay, so here it is written, it is an opposing force that acts between the surface in contact moving with respect with each other. Means when this box is there, can you see, when this box and the land, they have a contact over here, these two contacts, in here only the frictional force occurs. Then the direction of force of friction is always in opposite direction. Opposite direction means if a man is pulling in this direction, so the friction will be in this direction. The frictional force always acts between the two moving objects. So when the two objects are moving, in there only the frictional force will be there. Frictional force always acts to the opposite direction, as I told you already. Frictional force depends on the nature of the surface. For example, if there is a smooth surface, so friction force will be less. But if the surface is not smooth, it is like rough surface, so the friction of force will be high. Okay. Next one is non-contact force come into play even when the bodies are not in comes in contact. Sometimes what happens, even if you are not in contact, some kind of force is applied there. Next one is magnetic force. Force acting between the two magnets or a magnetic material, they are called as the magnetic force. If they are coming together, also a force. If they are going away, that is also due to the force. Why? Because there is the magnetic force. It can be attractive or repulsive. Next one is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force is due to the electric charges. You must have done this activity. If you take a plastic scale, okay, and if you will rub it over your hair, okay, for example, this is a boy, okay, this is a plastic scale. If he rubs in his hair and then he applies the scale over the pieces of the paper, what happens, after some time you will see the paper will come and stick over there. Why? Because there are some charges. Okay, these charges, can you see, there are some charges in the scale, that is why the paper are being attracted to the scale. So such kind of forces are called as the electrostatic forces. So that's it all for today. Today we studied about the what is a force, then we studied about the different types of force. So in the next class we will be continuing with our next topic of this chapter. Thank you, students.